I hear the call of the stars.
G'day guys, Duckville here. We're up to game number 3 of GuMihofOU versus sCfOU. Up here in the top right hand corner of Tal'Darim Alta, we have Gumiho in the sexy blue. He's mining away, as we can see. No sort of fancy shenanigans are going off for the moment. And his opponent is of course down here in the bottom left hand side, the red Terran SC. Now we did see in game number 1, we saw SC take the game with just a very sort of basic sort of win. He actually took advantage of the fact that Gumiho had some really bad multitasking at the time, lost a lot of his SCVs to one Hellion that got inside, and Gumiho was just pretty much dead after that. But game number 2, we saw Gumiho fight back, getting a third base very quick, utilizing that extra income to make sure that he was pumping out a lot of units. He was doing a lot of the tank marine style, of course, with a few Vikings thrown in every now and then, and just doing a really nice job in just really forcing back at controlling a lot of the map and making sure that despite SC's amazing macro, he was still staying on top of the game, and eventually took that out with a lot of drops as well. So we'll see if Gumiho is going to go for that sort of style again. That is a very quick refinery. Some of you guys who play Terran will know that this is probably going to mean that there will be either very quick Hellions or perhaps some Banshee action. I'm not actually sure, but he's going to get that gas running in just a second. There we go, 1, 2, 3 SCVs on there. Rax is out finally. You do have to delay one of your SCVs when you do this build. I think it's SCV number 13. You have to just hold back on that guy for just a moment while you get that Rax up, because you don't want to have the Rax up too late, because of course if one Marine comes over, you could be in a little bit of trouble. But we do see that SC is going for pretty much a similar sort of timing himself. He's actually, in fact, both of these guys are going for the racks at the exact same time. I'm assuming, I don't actually play Terran, but I'm assuming that it's pretty standard to go for that sort of thing in a TVT on this map, just because of how far away your opponent is, and you generally won't see a couple of Marines rushing over to try and put some damage down. But we do see that SC is going to get a Marine out, and we'll see how they progress from here. There's the factory. Gumiho just a tiny bit ahead, just has a few seconds on SC at the moment. Whether that was some sort of macro mistake on SC's part, or if he's just doing it a little bit later perhaps to save some minerals, I do not know, but we'll see what happens. A tech lab going down now for Gumiho. This perhaps suggests to me that this might not be Banshees. I think this may actually just be the standard, perhaps the Blue Flame Hellions. I'm not actually sure. Reactor going down, so this is probably definitely going to be those Hellions which can do a lot of damage. The other good thing about getting some Hellions out on this map is because they are so incredibly fast, you can get around and scout a lot of what's going on the map very, very quickly. And speaking of scouting, SCV going out here for SC, finally just checking out what's going on. Does not grab that xel'naga watchtower. I'm a bit surprised. Normally you see these guys of this high level caliber will try and grab every single watchtower they go past, but he's going up the wrong way either way, so he is going to have to deal with that in just a second. There's the starport, so it is actually going to be a Banshee just straight up, so I guess he's going to get that out straight away. Gumiho has actually done this every single game. He's gotten that early Banshee out to try and put some pressure on what SC was doing. Interestingly, SC has been prepared every single game though. He's had a Viking out, which has effectively nullified that early Banshee, but now this one is actually a little bit quicker, so we'll see if this is actually going to do a bit of damage. I'm not sure. We have a tech lab coming up from SC as well. He does have an SCV finally in the area where Gumiho is, but that goes down straight away to those few Marines that were there. Still no second gas, so I don't think Gumiho is going to go too hardcore on this Banshee push, but he does have one Hellion just floating across the map here, taking this xel'naga watchtower. Going to keep a little bit of vision along with these two Hellions that are over here. SC is going to control this side of the this middle section of the map, and a couple more Hellions are coming out as well, so he's going hard with those Hellions just for the moment. He's going to try and perhaps poke in here. He's not really going to get too far. He probably will see that this expansion is up and running, just waiting for those extra two Hellions to come along. There they are. We'll probably see him push across here. Let's have a quick look at what he is doing, then we'll head back down to that Banshee. The 4 Hellions now pushing inside, taking out that SCV, slowing down that command center production, and here he goes. He's just going to try and poke in. A little bit of mismicro there, getting that one Hellion in trouble there, and down it goes. But there is the secondary attack. We've got a Hellion inside here from Gumiho. Done a little bit of damage, taking out one of those Marines. Not too much, but here comes the extra damage from the Banshee. It's just floating in here. That's the one good thing about getting those Hellions inside, is that you can actually put some damage on the Marines, which makes them easier for a Banshee to deal with. And 3 Hellions outside here, still doing a lot of work here for SC. And now with that Banshee inside, there is really not too much, but there is the traditional Viking there to stop the that pain and suffering from the Banshee, and that is going to be it from both of these guys, the Hellions of SC. Just pulling back in time, this guy's got 1 kill, and the other one has 1 kill as well. Both of them are quite damaged though, so I'm a bit surprised to see if he's going to try and push in again, using those healthy SCVs at the front, Hellions at the front, sorry, and just comes in, roasts a couple of Marines, and is probably going to back out now. Does lose one of those, it loses 2 of those Hellions in fact, and a couple more still coming up, so this is a very, very heavy Hellion presence from SC for the moment. He does have to protection in the sky with that Viking there. He has a Raven on the way, quite interesting to see that again from SC. He's going to just use that, of course, in case there are any cloaked Banshees coming out from Gumiho. Double factory here from Gumiho, so this could switch into something quite interesting. We'll see how he goes with these extra gas, but I'm thinking that Gumiho, is he going to do it? Is he going to build perhaps another, if he builds another starport, a lot of you Terran guys will know exactly what I'm talking about, but a Banshee comes inside with not really too much protection here for Gumiho. These SCVs are going down. There is a Raven in the sky. The Raven will be able to put down a point defense drone if needed in just a moment, but he's not going to be able to because there's no point. He can't actually utilize that too much, but he is keeping it right next to that Banshee just in case the Cloaks put down an auto turret next to the SCV line, just to make sure that he is got a little bit of protection there, but the Viking comes out and takes care of that. And 4 Hellions are now inside for Gumiho. He's denied that expansion from getting up, putting up the supply depots, and then putting down an auto turret and landing the Viking. Holy cow, that was absolutely awesome play by SC to block off that position there with the supply depots, and then those 2 extra units that jump down to the ground. But now the Viking comes out on the ground. As we mentioned in game number 2, the Vikings are quite good against those Hellions when they're in small numbers, because they can take them out very quickly with their very quick damage there, along with the fact that they take virtually no damage from the Hellions. And the Hellions are now trying to try and actually push in anyway. They are not afraid of those Vikings, and 1 Hellion takes the damage for the rest of them, and there are the 3rd and 4th gas for Gumiho. Pretty quick there. We've got a Raven out along with another Banshee. Perhaps we will see the Iacoic build, whereby you go for a bit of a Sky Terran, doing a lot of harass, and obviously having Blue Flame Hellions on the ground to provide you with protection against Bio. And I would be really happy if we do see that today, because that's something I haven't actually seen too much of myself. But we do have 3 factories out for SC at the moment. He could be doing his own version of something a little bit mechish for the moment. Scan going down does actually catch all of those buildings there, and he will be able to plan out, Gumiho will be able to plan out what his next move is. And of course we have this expansion up for SC at the moment. He's got that up and running, and perhaps he'll be looking to take this 3rd one quite soon. He does have a lot of tank production capability, so I'll be a little bit surprised if he doesn't move to take that 3rd pretty quickly. Very easy to hold this 3rd if you're a Terran. You could chuck down some tanks, some bunkers, even some supply depots if you want to. Hold this side of the map, and then you can just hold this as well, and you're in a really good spot. So we do have these Blue Flame Hellions out from SC. He's going to run along here, try and take out some of the Hellions of Gumiho. He's just chasing after them, but now here comes this very interesting Sky Force. 2 Ravens, which do have energy for the point defense drone, Banshee and a Viking. This could get very, very interesting. This Raxus in the corner may actually see this coming in. There he goes. He does see that they are above that low ground position here, and he is going to come inside. There is only the 1 Viking, nope, 3 Vikings in fact, to protect the skies here for SC, but the Banshee is up and doing quite a lot of damage. In fact, it's a point defense drone battle off. There are 2 point defense drones for Gumiho, but now down to 1, down to none, and now this attack is probably going to get putting down an auto turret to try and take out some of these Vikings. Not going to get too much done. He is doing a little bit of damage, and now is able to shoot away at those SCVs. The Ravens have not escaped just yet. They are flying down to the corner. The Vikings are going to be chasing after them, I would assume, in no time. But a drop going on here for SC. He's got Blue Flame Hellions inside. We'll see how many SCVs he can roast up. Hitting not too many. Does get an okay amount, but not really too many at all, because GuMiho came inside with a tank and a few of his own Blue Flame Hellions and was able to repel that attack. So we do have, I think this is going to turn into, yeah it is, you got double ports. We got 2 port, 2 star, 2 star, 2 FAC, and we've got Vikings and Banshees on the way. We got Blue Flame Hellions, of course. Do not be surprised if we see the Armory eventually. No, we don't have it just yet, but the Armory will probably come out in just a moment to upgrade the Blue Flame as well. And once you have those guys on the ground with the Blue Flame, you'll be able to absolutely destroy anything bio which SC might go for. But at the moment, SC going for his own very interesting strat here, the 3 factory with a 1 reacted starport. I haven't actually seen that myself. He's upgrading +1 to vehicle weapons, so he will be in a position to do a lot of damage with those tanks when the time comes. The Thor and the Vikings and everything else that is just sitting out here for the moment is going to be really nice for him to defend, especially. There will be a lot of pushing power, of course, but I don't think it'll be as much as GuMiho has, because GuMiho is going to be able to control the skies with these Vikings, along with the point defense drones from the Ravens, and he's about to take his own 3rd base as well. Here comes the command center, a couple of supply depots up the back maybe, and a partridge in a pear tree, but the Hellions are just kind of hanging out here. He may look to try and push out. This is a nice little force here. He's going to be able to, in fact, both of these guys going for this very interesting mix of units. We got Blue Flame Hellions, we got Vikings, we got tanks, we got a Thor, just for a bit of fun. And GuMiho, of course, has his own interesting mix with his own Vikings. Not as many tanks, I don't believe. Let's have a quick look at the unit counter. Yeah, SC currently sitting up at 9 tanks to the 3 tanks of GuMiho. GuMiho does have an advantage with the Banshees, of course. They will be able to do a lot of damage, but only when these Vikings are being cleared out. So only if he can clear out the Vikings will those Banshees come into effect and then be able to just absolutely rip through the tanks. Of course, there is a Thor there, but with the with a decent sized amount of Thor, decent size of Banshees around, he can still do a decent amount of damage. And look at what we've got here. We got some Blue Flame Hellions running inside the natural expansion. Getting inside, SC is going to have a little bit to contend with here. The SCV is pulling off a citizen's arrest on those Hellions, and the Hellions do go down, but not after taking a nice amount of those SCVs with them. And as we have a quick look over here, have a look at the workers killed tab. We have GuMiho just ahead with 19 SCV kills to the 12 of SC. And we'll see if these guys are going to perhaps do a little bit of a trade here. We may see if these armies sort of come into play. This could get very, very interesting. We have the 5 Banshees out for GuMiho, and then just the Vikings as well to cover them in the sky, with along with those 2 point defense drones, or maybe even more now. Yeah, these guys are just about done on their energy, so they'll be able to put down a lot of point defense drones. And here comes the battle. We've got the cloak going off for those Banshees. They're going to be able to clear out. They do go straight for that Thor, and they do a lot of damage, of course, to the Thors. The Banshees are still going to town on what is left here for SC. The Vikings in the sky dealing with those Vikings of SC quite quickly there. A little bit of miss micro perhaps from SC. Actually lost a lot of those Vikings before they did any damage to these Banshees, and now the 3 Banshees are going to be able to do a lot of damage to these retreating tanks with nothing else to help them. These tanks are going to be completely vulnerable for the moment, as we see here. GuMiho with some beautiful micro doing this sort of move and shoot micro, and he is going to lose one of these Banshees perhaps in just a second because the energy is worn off. There is that Viking in the sky. He's going to be able to shoot it, and in fact a Thor coming along, and the Thor says, "Do not argue with me, son," and puts down the hurt with those air, what are they called, the javelin missiles or whatever they're called, something like that. I don't know, something to do with the Olympics, I think. I can't remember. Hang on, let's have a look. Javelin missile launchers, yeah. But anyway, doing a lot of damage there with those Banshees, doing a fantastic job of just removing that tank threat that SC had with that huge tank count to what GuMiho had. And now SC is currently sitting quite a bit behind. He's actually 106 supply to the 148 of GuMiho. GuMiho has now decided that to get his self ahead a little bit more, he's actually going to put down a couple more command centers as well. In even moving this orbital command, I would think that was a little bit out of place perhaps, but he's going to be in quite a lead in a moment if SC doesn't pull something out of a hat. In fact, he's going to lose something into the hat there, losing a couple of the Hellions which are just roaming around trying to keep an eye on things. There is one lonely Marine just hanging hanging out here. This guy is forever alone, just camping down here at the sort of the 6 o'clock position. What's he down here for, you ask? He's down to check if there's any sorts of drops or perhaps anything floating across. He will be able to see, of course, if this expansion gets taken as well. Once that gas is taken, and you probably will be able to see any SCVs on this mineral patch, but he will be able to spot anything like that coming across that 6 o'clock position, and we'll see what SC is going to do, because he will, as I said, will need to pull something out of a hat to sort of get back into the game here. He is well known for that macro, of course. We do see a lot of Thors. Oh, he's getting into the Thor production at the moment. They do not have strike cannon at the moment, but he does have a lot of damage to bump out with those. But GuMiho is going to have something to say about that, pulling out a few of those Hellions down into the mineral line with their blue flame, doing a lot of damage. This guy has 5 kills, and this extra one has a couple more there as well. They did a nice amount of damage there. We'll have a quick look at the harvester tab. We actually have GuMiho way in the lead there, 66 harvesters to 44, so he is in quite a lead at the moment. So we do have to consider that when we are actually looking at the supply lead. And as we have a quick look here, there is that little bit of a boost there for GuMiho. He is still way in a lead there in terms of the army supply, but he's also got to consider that he does have a lot of SCVs as well. 28 worker kills for GuMiho. He's done a fantastic job, and have a look at this. We have a massive column of tanks just moving down the map. They do have the protection of the Hellions, so this has sort of shifted a little bit away from that Sky Terran mode that GuMiho was in. And these tanks, I tell you what, once they siege up, anything is dead. We'll have a look. This refinery, is it going to go down? He doesn't have vision. There it is. Bam. That is dead in pretty much one salvo from these tanks. And we'll go back to the production tab just to keep an eye on what is happening here. There are no sorts of drops or anything on at the moment from SC. I'm a bit surprised he isn't actually dealing with these threats that are coming through. He does have a lot of Thors. Check out those 4 Thors that he's got. He's just absolutely pumping those out at a quick rate. He is going to have to contend with a few Thors from GuMiho though. Check this out. We actually, holy moly, we actually have 7 factories here coming down from GuMiho. In fact, almost all of them will have tech labs in just a second, and because of his absolutely huge economy just at the moment, he's getting up that that 4th base over here. He's going to have, no, he's not. I thought he was going to go for an extra one, but he does have a lot of orbital commands, so he's going to have a heap of money income at the moment, and it looks as if we may have a little bit of a battle here. These tanks are moving into position. A few more Thors, as we mentioned, just popping out here for GuMiho, and these units over here for SC are going to have to be a little bit careful. As we mentioned, the supply is currently sitting at 199 for GuMiho. SC currently sitting at 146, 147 now, and he's going to have a little bit to contend with, because GuMiho is just absolutely running around the map with a lot of damage. Especially, have a look at these Hellions just rolling around, and they do have +1, I believe. They do have +1, there it is. SC does have +1 of his own, but nice little micro there from GuMiho to get those Hellions jumping straight into that medevac, but not getting too far, as this flock of SC Vikings are just floating around and are going to be doing a lot of damage here. Vikings actually running into a little bit of trouble here for GuMiho. They do head into those 4 Thors, who obviously with their javelins are going to throw those like any sort of a crazy Olympic javelin specialist. I don't know what they're called, but either way. GuMiho is now sitting here with his own 4 Thors, so he's going to be in a very nice position. SC just currently running up here to check out what is happening at this 4th base. This is going to switch into a planetary fortress. This will give himself a little bit more protection, because this is a little bit out of the way. Of course, this does take a long time for a mech army to get across to this base, although once it is there, it'll be quite secure, of course. GuMiho just flying around with these Vikings and the Raven escort as well, and the 1 Banshee included in there, just checking out what is going on, just trying to see what SC is up to at the moment. We'll go and have a look at what the minerals are at for SC. Is currently getting into the sort of halfway point of this particular base. The natural expansion is getting quite low as well. The main, of course, has been mined out for ages as well. But it looks as if SC is going to have a little bit of trouble here at this 4th base. We got Vikings in the sky, we got a Banshee and some auto turrets on the ground to deal with this command center, and that is going to go down quick smart. We do have a battle up here at the top. Not actually too much happening here. The tanks have just sieged up, for GuMiho, and he's not really going to have to deal with too much, because this force seems to be retreating for the moment. 1 Hellion just getting destroyed there by all of those forces, and have a quick look down here. That expansion did get taken out. This group is now moving into position over here at the third base for SC. If GuMiho can take this out, he will be in an absolutely fantastic position. These units just sort of looking to perhaps move across the Vikings landing, and it looks as if SC has done his own nice job over here at this fifth base for GuMiho, taking out some of those SCVs that are mining there, doing a lot of damage to the command center, and it looks as if these Vikings did actually have to jump up back into the air like the crazy transformers they are. And look at this siege line for both of these guys. We have a line all the way down across on the right hand side for GuMiho. We have this now shifting into a nice position for SC, along with those Thors at the back. He'll be in a very nice spot. He does have the Vikings in the air, but GuMiho has his own 4 Thors up in the sky. In fact, 5 Thors are now roaming around on the ground, and it looks as if these guys are going to move back into position again. It's a point defense drone. The tank's sieging up on both sides. Battle is going to commence, and we do have the Thors trying to take care of the Vikings of SC, but they're not going to be able to do too much because they can't really move too far, and it looks as if GuMiho just mismicroing a little bit, losing a couple of those units. In fact, the Thors are almost all dead for GuMiho. That is a little bit of hurt there. He doesn't obviously need them as much, but having them there to disrupt the Viking positioning is a fantastic addition to his army. And in fact, moving up a bit, taking advantage of that, is SC. He's got those tanks in position there, a scan going off, and now these guys are probably going to have to be very careful with where they move, and it looks as if SC has had enough. He's going to head down the left side. GuMiho is going to do his own movement there as well, re-sieging up again, and it looks as if that fifth base was taken out by SC, so he's doing a fantastic job of keeping up to date with those. Now the Hellions just running in here to the fourth base. Planetary Fortress says no, you don't get out, and those Hellions go down quick smart. But it looks as if many Thors have been produced again by GuMiho. He's got 4 out at the moment, almost losing 2 of them. One of them still just alive, but the tanks siege up. We'll have a quick look in the big mode again. There we go. We do have tanks up on the high ground for SC. He does have a nice amount of vision. He does not have the xel'naga watchtower. A little bit of mismicro there on that positioning. Does lose all of those forces down to the side. Some more units are coming in with that fantastic macro that we were talking about, and GuMiho is going to need to retreat. He's not in the best position here with these. Whoa, hello. Thors have been absolutely brought into this battle, and we do see that the Thors are just going to absolutely steam through these units. I would love to see some mules or something like that to repair these guys. They are getting a little bit low, but that is a really nice job there by GuMiho to come inside with those Thors and actually help out with that battle. What are these Hellions doing? I think they're just checking out for extra bases around the map. They are probably going to run into this siege tank line that is still up here. No, they don't. They actually just go up and check what's going on, and there we are. In fact, some more battles are going on here. We did miss that one, but it looks as if GuMiho is going to perhaps need to come down here and disrupt this base again. If he can, he will be in, again, a fantastic position. More Thors coming out from GuMiho, more Hellions, and everything else you can think of. Factories switching around. We're probably going to have a couple of Banshees popping out, maybe, or perhaps some Ravens to help out with dealing with that, with the Viking force. And these Thors are getting absolutely out of control for GuMiho. He has a total of 8 down here just at this southern portion of the map. There is a drop here with some Hellions just running around, causing a lot of havoc on those SCVs and the mineral lines, and these guys have done a nice job. We'll have a quick look at the kills. We've got 3 kills there. We have 3 more on that one as well. Siege tank on the high ground for GuMiho, taking care of this planetary fortress. Will eventually take it out, of course, along with some of these SCVs, you would assume. And here come those Thors rolling down. He does bring down some mules as well. There it is, beautiful, love it. Bring in those mules to make sure that these Thors are kept up nice and clean in this battle. Hellions attempting to come by again for SC. He's just trying to do what he can. He's just really looking in a really terrible spot for the moment with these Thors out on the map and very, very little income coming in from SC. He's just going to have to try and mix something up, perhaps maybe if he can, if he's got the income, perhaps some sort of switch on his units. I'm not actually sure what you can do from this point because Thors are incredibly powerful. We have a look at the upgrades. He does have the +2 to the weapon, so these Thors are going to be doing a heap of damage. They're doing 16 damage, of course, it splashes to the air units, and then the extra 36 damage on the ground as well, so they just rip through those tanks, especially considering there are 6 of those Thors out at the moment. I would assume there are a few more on the way. There's 2 more, 3 more, and he is absolutely going to stomp through in the moment. This guy, he's cool. He's just hanging out. He's just having a smoke. He doesn't need to actually exit the base. Remember when Thors were actually a lot bigger? They were probably about, how much was it? It was like that size, sort of a lot bigger like that. That was actually quite interesting to have a look at back in the beta, but Thors have not going to be able to deal with these Banshees which come, the Hellions which come along. The Blue Flame Hellions coming along here from SC. You do have to be very careful with your Planetary Fortress, because there is this little bit of a section there in the back of the mineral line that cannot be hit by the Planetary Fortress, and now there is that switch back to the Banshees from GuMiho, so he's going to do a little bit of damage here. A scan goes down along with those 4 Vikings to take care of that, but now we do see the Thor army is now getting prepared. We've got some brothers coming in from the side. These guys, there's 10 Thors in total. Is that 10? No, that's actually 9, my bad. But the Thors are now going to be grouping up together, and once you have Thors together in a group like this, there is just about nothing you can do to actually deal with it. Although you do see sometimes that battle cruisers can deal with the Thors with their long-range Yamato cannons. You can deal with the Thors, but I don't think he's going to have the income to deal with that. You obviously need a lot of gas to get the battle cruisers out, and just doesn't have that sort of income. GuMiho has done a fantastic job of denying this base. He's denied any sorts of expansions. He's had these units just floating around the map, trying to keep an eye on what is going on. In fact, speaking of floating, these Banshees just coming along will try and deal with these Hellions before they get into too much mischief, and we do see the Hellions are now getting away. They are going to be able to do a little bit of damage perhaps, but I don't think there's really too much they are going to be able to do. There's a Thor here at this base. The Thor, of course, will just rip through these Hellions, but not before the Hellions have a shot at these SCVs, taking out a lot of them. That is really going to hurt GuMiho's income there at that 5th expansion. And of course, now with these SCVs transferring over to the 4th, this is going to be over pretty soon, I would expect, for SC. He just has no way of coming back with very, very little income. Let's have a quick look at what he does have coming in. He's got 200 minerals, effectively 200 minerals versus pretty much 1400 from GuMiho, and obviously the supply lead is favoring GuMiho so much, given that he has all of these Thors currently sitting at 168 supply, 66 for SC at the moment. Not really sure what he's going to do. He is going to attempt to fly down a orbital command down here to this this expansion down here, which we probably consider the 4th, I suppose. Chucks down a few mules, needs those to get the production up and running again. He's going to get a little bit of income off that, but I don't really think he's going to be able to do too much. There are some Banshees up here. They get a scan on top of them. The Vikings coming in from the side, and they will be able to deal with that quite quickly there, and the tanks will survive for the moment. But the problem is, have a look, what have we got here? We got some more Thors, we got more tanks, we got Ravens, we got everything you could ask for. We just need some fries, and then we have an awesome battle, which will be commencing soon, I would assume. Hellions as well from GuMiho. This guy is stuck with pretty much every unit that he's built for this whole time. The Hellions have been doing a fantastic job of running around the map. We did see a lot of SCV kills at the start of the game. We saw some more. In fact, have a look at the SCV kills. We actually have 89 for GuMiho, so he's done a really nice job. He's just ahead of SC on the 81 kills of those GuMiho SCVs. But the Thors are going to be the big battle changer here. Once you actually get these extra Thors into the battle, there they are. Those extra ones just over here, that will definitely be it. There is nothing that that SC can do, even despite the fact that he has that amazing macro. He's not going to be able to do too much here, and in fact losing these SCVs from that tank on the high ground, and now moving in for the final kill, I would assume, is GuMiho just off to the side with those Javelin missile launchers just firing away at that command center. I don't think he's going to be able to get that away in time. The Thors have massive range, of course, but losing out to that high ground position, along with a little bit of trouble here from this Banshee, but the Thor is still there, waiting to deal with those sorts of problems. And now, here we go. We do have this Sky Force as well, switching back to the Sky Force, which is quite interesting. And here comes the battle. Thor's off to the left-hand side. Tanks sieging up. They are surrounded by the Banshees and the Thors. The Thors will be able to just rip through everything here. Not enough damage there for SC, and there is a GG, and that was an absolutely huge game from GuMiho. Just controlling the map yet again, controlling really nicely with that, with essentially that Sky Terran Iacoic style, with the Banshees, the Vikings, and then the Blue Flame Hellions as well, switching into a very heavy tank presence, and then switching across to those massive Thors once he had the 4th base up, and then eventually that 5th base as well, and denying the 4th base for SC. kept this base pretty much unmined almost the entire game as well, along with constant scouting of this base as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this particular series. Do make sure you go check out some of the other games that I have cast from the FXOpen Invitational Series number 4 Korean Qualifiers, and of course, make sure you keep cheering on for FXO and the other foreign players in the GSL and GSTL. Cheers.